the subject matter of men and women is disgusting because it's not really the subject matter of humane beings. Having said that, welcome to my refinery of what we've been working on for the past year, perhaps. And it's not a coincidence. We have a collective being influenced by something that says transhumanism is coming up, which is interesting wording. You know, trans means just kind of movement of, or even it means movement, just kind of going across. And then there's humanism, which isn't bad. See, the problem that we're having is dehumanization. And make no mistake, this is connected to the fact that there's binary processing, right? The mind, fully encapsulated mind, which is the narcissist. And then there's trinary, which is, it's not a fully encapsulated mind, which I don't like that term. They should be saying fully encapsulated awareness that is now locked into the mind. Because now, see, when you have a trinary, which is the other kind of human being, which is a human being, there's narcissists and then there's human beings. You know, hey, this is just what's showing up. I'm looking at it, and also you can experience it. Kind of odd the way that the binary processor or the narcissist is, right? They're kind of cold. Now, there's shades of gray to this, but basically what it is, it's just the mind that receives only an on and off signal. That's pretty much it. You know, you've noticed it. Kids will be that way. It's just like either yes or no. You know, and they don't want to do any of the work to see why is it a yes or why was it a no. But anyway, so having said that, you know, what's the problem? Well, now I wanted to talk about just the traits. If you are a humane being, this is just to get right into it. You know, it comes up in your personal relationships. You see, they are insecure to the bone. Now, just setting aside the mechanics that I just talked to you about, I wanted to get this off my chest. How, what they will do. Um, see, now I only speak for the woman side, who I'm pretty sure, and boy, it's a heavy duty side. I think that they have the profound responsibility. Check me if I'm wrong. To bring up, say to bring the organism up into being human. I started over that because it's like, okay, so you don't want to say it to where it sounds like all you're saying is that she's just somebody who has babies. She brings humans here. No, um, there's a point where something wants to have sex with her. She has the profound responsibility to make sure that it's a humane being. And I'm saying that she could be designed this way. If she's left unfucked with, she could have a natural knack for it. And this is what's not appreciated. I can tell. This is Jesus. Am I going to stick up for you now? Hell yeah, you are, girl. And I was a woman. Don't fucking think I'm a simple girl. Sorry. You know, I don't like it because it's insecurity that attacks, say, the leader, right? Ignorance that doesn't know any better, and then it'll just attack. And so that's what's kind of been happening. See, women or anybody. See, I just stick up for myself, my side of the organism, which is women. And telling you what, man, it's the same with, like I said in the beginning, with women to me and men. Both of them seem kind of off in a daze a little bit, you know, because there is an achievement of just becoming purely aware, which I say, no, it's just what's the truth? Purely aware is your full embodiment, and it's really this moment now. It's that space between your nose and the end of the universe, basically. Um, Unlimited potential there. You are animated there. That's where life is happening. It's not happening in your mind, you see. And all that our senses are is just the binary processing thing. So you get the idea, having said that these people, narcissist or the binary processor, they're limited to their bodies. They're very um, and I don't really mean that as an awareness. I mean as they only conceptualize it. And they look around and they say, oh, that person's getting old. Oh, okay, that person is new and young. And talk about now new and young and the way and how they are with children. See, this is a known fact that they only get along with children, not children, but toddlers. I mean, really small, toddler on down. They'll do great with the infant. And see, this is where I wanted to point out where when you start getting your own freedom and your own sovereign mind to be you and taking on your own basic rights, getting your space, that happens around about 4 or 5. It's called individuation separation. It's a natural psychological process that must happen. It actually should happen a little earlier, where it's happening where, but really it shows in conversation where the toddler or the child will just start saying, no, I don't want that. Now, see, this is where the narcissist does not like you. They don't like anybody that wants to take their freedom, and they will punish it. That's my point, is that they'll punish it. See, I guess it's the highly passive aggressive, though I don't like that term because everybody has those qualities that can come out back to back. It depends on what you're exposed to. You know what I mean? You have to be aggressive and then you have to be passive in some ways. So, but there's people that won't settle down into just awareness and knowing that that could happen both ways, and we're just kind of coming from a center. But anyway, they will punish you if they're not able to have their way or break your boundaries or something, and you start sticking up for yourself. That's called reactive abuse. They abuse your reaction to them breaking their boundaries or trying to take from you, or being something unethical that now I've talked about it. It's the woman's profound responsibility to not only make sure there's a human being there, bring them up into becoming a human being. She does this through her sex. Just simply, she sees, oh, this person isn't capable of all kinds of things. Not Doesn't learn, isn't consistent, doesn't care for me, doesn't care for my space, all that stuff. So you don't breed with that. That's what a fucking bonobo ape found out in the wilderness. And if you look at them, they are a controversial ape because it appears that everybody's having sex there. I mean, everybody's, and all they're doing is rubbing their genitals. I mean, it's just they're practicing having fun, and it's like they eat and then they just feel good. But see, the people the ones that can't do that, and there's something wrong with them. They figure they're like, oh, you guys aren't even happy, and you wanna do something else other than feel good. They just block it out, and so they won't reproduce with the ones that are being nice about it. Anyway, that's just a fact. Anyway, so but that's the technology that's here. Very scientific if you just look at it cut and dried like I am. See, it's not really up to the mothers, but yes, it is. But right now, it's not. A woman has to figure this out and get a man. See, always, if she wants to make that man hers, she has to get him away from his mother in all ways, shape, and form. Memory has to be zapped out. The way she does that is through her sex, and if she is a real woman, she's practicing compassionate, kindness, forgiving kindness, and basically showing the example, and all of this comes up as what? Your religion? Yeah. And I'm saying, yeah, no, that stems from the female side, who she has her duty here. And then there's the male side that you can see it more and more. That's like, because they're not really getting back to the woman. It's not, she isn't doing it in the way that says, no, I'm not your mom and I'm not your bigger sister, because here's what happens. See, we're looking at this. I was shown so much yesterday. See, Mars is now sextile Pluto, and it's a time to look into some things that destroys um, the lies that humanity has been cloaked under. And this is the sextiles. A lot of sextiles will happen throughout 20 years that Pluto is in Aquarius, but there will be squares that will be even heavier, and I think there's only like 10 or 11 of those, or 12 at the most. Anyway, I'm talking fast to try to get this done, but because it always cuts out when I'm on it, right heading towards the. But I'm going to keep touching on this, and the thing is we already know this though. It's going on, but I saw something just like, okay, so, but this is why it's happening. Well, first of all, the reason why that you can call it human civilization, but it's not. Something has harnessed it and turned it and is playing a huge joke on it. But let's get that out of the way. Out of the way. Third party, fucking parasitical, alien based thing that is fucking with both men and women who are not becoming humane yet, human beings yet. If they were becoming human beings yet, they would have their own government based in the human beings associated laws, which is the universe, and that's their belongings, and it's very, very much put together already, and we already know it, and thank you for connecting to God. That's right. And so, but see, this is so not being brought up. You need to realize this because they are already pointing it out. There's either human beings or there is the fully encapsulated awareness and or mind, a narcissist. Binary processor, on and off signals, very predictable. Heart connection, trinary processor, not as predictable because we have in a live situation arena of, wow, intelligence is already here. Are we learning? What is it? Not what you think. Never. So I'm going to keep spinning and spinning and spinning it and say, look, they keep saying it's here already. They pull it up, but see, the language needs to be defined now so that we know what we're talking about. Like, because you mean something and you say, oh, blah blah blah. Human beings are terrible. No, they're not. It's the binary processor that's terrible. It's the narcissist that's terrible. And, we don't isolate it to just gender, although, and this is just a statistic, don't mob me down. Jesus, were you mobbed? Hell yeah! That it's isolated to men because they're susceptible to their mind. That's just the way they are designed. Let's look at it. Why? Well, they are to be programmed. They do heavy duty work, right? And so it's important to get them. Now, they need to know their leader. They need to know their leader. Well, of course. Now, do you think it's women? Because maybe they have an idea. Maybe it's a small idea. I don't know. Maybe it's a big idea, but I know it's all her idea. I mean, that's who she is that she's going to have a kid. She holds the child, and then she has the child. I think that there's some people, men, who just, they're jealous, right? Yeah. This is the problem with the binary processor. The binary processor only says on or off, and so it's basically win or lose. Win or lose. They're like, it's either that's just a toddler. A toddler who has not gotten into their body yet and individuated their senses into reality and says, no, wait a minute. And I have my own mind that can make decisions here about things. And if somebody stops that and puts you in your head about your identity, well, there you go. Moms might be making that huge mistake. They don't know how to let go and just say, yeah, go on. Go skin your knee and come crying back to me, and we'll see how um, you process that. I'm here for you, but you're on your own. So thanks for listening to this. The main thing I wanted to talk about is that they when you start sticking up for yourself, and now I'm talking about from a woman to a man in a heavy duty situation. Now talk about it. It's never talked about. But you saw my last film, and it's like, well, hello, I've been doing this all my life. You don't let men. You don't just become a welcome mat for men to just get their jollies off and then fix me food and blah. It's like, no, excuse me. Wow. We don't have you around for anything but fun. That's an independent woman. And now I just felt, see, you guys are so insecure. You don't trust each other. Abusing each other and not using it very well. So they don't want you to have your sovereign self or even yourself. They don't feel like if there's the money scene in the system, and what if you don't get along in that? What if you just don't even agree with their stupid fucking math, but you're a great musician? And you think, and see, the thing is you can see the triad. It's called the triad, which is another, it's not necessarily reality and the truth that comes into the binary processor and says, it's a triad, it's a system that says, no, overlay it like this, and this is why you are a winner, and this is why they are a loser. And it's the money-based thing would say it's because you can't pay the bills, right? Is why you can't have your heart and freedom. And it's like, that needs to change. And I don't see it changing without, first of all, we get our language down and say, wait a minute, human being versus the mind here, heart versus mind, they do not mix. See, there's the mind. There's two philosophies. Okay, one of them doesn't need a philosophy, by the way, the heart, because it's engaged with the truth. It's like, it's not a philosophy. That the sun is setting right now. That's just an experience you're going to have to fucking wake up to. Look at it. Get out of your mind. See, we know a gaslighting narcissist who I mean, we've all woke up when it was dusk and we thought, oh shit, it's time to go to work. And we think it's ow. And we think that the sun is actually rising, but it's setting. And you're like, you're getting ready to go to work, and it's like, wait a minute, the sun is setting. Have you ever had that happen, or something like, you just wake up, you take a nap, and you wake up, and you think, oh wait, it's morning time, you got to get ready, I'm late. No, it's still dusk. The narcissist will have you believe that it's dusk rather than dawn, or dawn rather than dusk. That's what some gaslighters do, right? I mean, you've heard them. All of a sudden, they just go. Pfft. It's a form of. They want to take control, right, of somebody. But then with their conversation, they'll do it really easy. They want to. It's also a form of buffering themselves against reality too. In an immediate setting where it takes just pure raw relatedness, like a skill to relate. They want to go into left field over there. Some of them, okay, I'm going off on this, but some of them, they're like, where are they? They could be up here. Will just like scream or clap out of nowhere. And so everybody in the room's like, that's a gaslighter narcissist, but they love, they got everybody's attention. They love it. And they go, continue on playing video games. Anyway, boy, it's out there. It's the plague, and what are we gonna do? Because it plays at all costs. To win. That's all. It wants to win, and so backed with the money system that takes care of them. It's ruthless. It's almost impossible. But if we keep communicating and start realizing what the split is about, what is the split about? Wouldn't you say it's we want to get away from the toxic danger that the binary processor really is, that doesn't give a fuck about growing into becoming a human. And it's not transhumanism that we're worried about. No, this is the language they are fooling people. It's dehumanization that we're worried about. Being dehumanized. At every turn that we have a feeling, they say, no, section blah, blah, blah says that it's not causing any of those symptoms. It's like, bitch, I'm feeling it here. And you are dehumanizing me by going to a black and white bunch of shit. That's very real. That is real. Come on. Human beings get angry and they do it a certain way called being productive. They can turn it on and melt something down to reform it into something more useful. It's not bad. Human beings have emotions, and when they ignore those feelings, they can get cancer. Why? Fucking simple. Think about it. You're going to get a blister. You're going to turn into a goddamn festering wreck if you can't feel that there is a fucking torch next to you emanating heat. Duh. Why do you think there's so much disease? Why am I getting so intense? I have a right to my fucking intense feelings. And you do too. This is what's missing. These fucking assholes that don't get fucking pissed and say, excuse me, bullshit. Because that's so you have the ability to be human, but they don't. And they use your conscience. They're playing a game of checkers when you're playing a game of chess, and you think that they're playing a game of chess. No, they're just doing the on-off signal, and they're keeping you at bay. They're not getting angry. They're not getting angry. And then when you get angry, they do reactive abuse, which means that they abuse your reaction to their boundaryless or, dehumanizing attempts. Hope that's clear. That's where we're at right now. It's like, well, so what are you going to do? Are you guys going to regroup and go to where there's human beings that don't perform dehumanizing just because they're lacking in something? Find out what you're good at. And if there could be an understanding of something like this. See, this is where I'm looking at. It's like, okay, so does money really create a buffer between those two types? One of them needs money because they are not fully connected to their fucking creative life yet. And maybe they want to take from the other side. Think about it. And what if we just, what if it was like the bonobo ape that says, you know, you're not even fucking getting it? For your own sake, you don't even know what you want. So when you can't and you have a learning disability, you don't fucking breed with it. No way. And the rest know that. There's enough people that know that no. And if that person is getting violent with you and saying, nah, I want to go fuck a tree, asshole. And they can, they will. You know, it's like, figure out what you want. What you want? Oh, God. It's what the truth is. The goal of your genitals? Oh, my God. See, I go back to sex because that's where all of it emerges. Right at the spigot. I say right at the spigot. And it's like a big of course. As a woman, I say, no, you don't you wake a man up. You bring him up into being a humane being. He doesn't know his way around the woman's body. So a woman has a profound responsibility, and does she do this? My answer is rarely, and it's a big no in my personal arena looking around at some women. I've had a chance. I'm 50 years old. I've hung out with some for a while, and it's like, you know, the narcissistic situation, babe, I've seen them fucking get destroyed. They are fucking demolished now, kids and all, because they didn't stick up for themselves. They were doing something in their heads. It was very image oriented. Oh, you got the picture and you know of the couple smiling, and it's like you guys lead a miserable life right there and right behind it, and to the point of I'm getting PTSD being exposed to it, and my friends going to hell, and then what else? Uh, yeah, looking at that, and it's like, well, mind your own business. It's like, oh my God, what a study. No, you know, you try to have friends, and then they get lost into this thing. That's what one of my friends said. It's like, you know, it's weird. You try to have a band, you try to get to play the band, and then all of a sudden, like the bass player, they meet each other, or it's just your life, you know, and somebody goes off and they meet and they go and they get lost. It's like, why do you have to get completely lost? Aren't we still a tribe here? That's not safe. You are spinning off into fucking. If you can talk, we will talk about the triad. I don't know about much about it and how to insert it into a conversation, but the triad. Okay, tri means just a third party something influencing. Add means addition. See, of what? It's a system that now you want to talk about Machiavellianism. That's a name, somebody's last name, somebody who says, no, this is how I'm going to live. I'm going to be a shyster. If it's a yes, I'm going to say no. It's just win for me. And you're down, and especially, this, you get an A, and because you got an F, I got an A because you got an F, you just don't qualify, and I can keep dehumanizing you until what? Until you start following the system and be dehumanized. Whew. That's kind of where we're at now. It's like, halt, stop. Did you learn how to stop? Did you learn how to be intact without all of that fucking illusion, shit, crap? Which is every bit of the materialistic society world. Doing whatever, anywhere from electric cars to your fucking lipstick and Botox and whatever your ointment you're putting on your neck. Totally shallow, by the way. This is a very short time here, and we only have so much time. We can make a huge difference in no time flat. Copy paste. They want control of your body and your mind and all of that stuff because they're highly insecure, period. There isn't a real, they're not turned on as to how to be a human being here. And it just wants to win, and it wants you dead, basically. Because it means that you're off and they're on. I don't know, it's weird, but it's something that we shouldn't put up with. We recognize it and say, oh, turn your back on it because it's operating at not hooked up into the heart. It's not a heart operating there. It's a mind blind to itself, playing a game of its own desire, which is locked And the main thing is it's moving to the fear of death, the fear of being found out that it's just not real. It's a trap. Thanks for listening. Don't give them your anger. Don't get out of control. They can easily give you brain damage because you're holding it together like a chess game, but they don't. And your nerve endings are being lost there because they don't have that nerve. They just keep going, and they don't mean it. You just have to realize that. Oh, okay. So you're not fully developed, and you're not. And see, I do my best to wake them up, you know, and they run away from that process. That's what you call the runners. When they face their shadow that maybe they were wrong, it's cognitive dissonance. It can make them go off and do all kinds of stuff. Includes get a job in the Matrix and say, "I did it," and it's like, no, you have just lost your ass. I'll repeat it again. A people or civilization that is ran on money has lost their ability to run themselves on their own creativity and call it the best way is love. Figure out your technology here. You are to make love. And I'll dare say, yeah, sex is a high possibility, if not the only one that brings it through. No? And keep pointing out, see, they're trying to mix it up right now and say, oh, well, a man did it. No, that wasn't a man. That was a woman who got a sex change, but she still has a womb. And now it's a man that's pregnant? No, you guys are ignoring the truth. Originally, that was a woman. A woman has a womb. You know, they can look like men. So what? If she has a womb, that's a woman. Fucking A, man. You know what I mean? You can't really change that. I don't think so. They have incubators that are simulating making humans inside of just a bag. Interesting. Those people don't have any disruption of any kind of through the morphogenic field. The mother's emotional body isn't there. You know, her rhythmic sounds of her body is very, very musical. It's not there. It's interesting to know, to see what kind of these human beings they are. But the truth is, the more and more deadened you get as a woman or a man, if you're a woman, and see, there's a term called dead woman, who, if you can imagine, she's only moving. It's what it's called. It's the narcissist. It's the non-human woman, but it comes hand in hand with psychopathy because of her power, possible position of power of what she can control men into her, and then she can have 9 to 12 kids, and then now she's under position of power of that, and that's a psychopath who, if they're doing anything but letting those people have themselves as their potential, especially as kids, who will just pick them up like a voodoo doll and start saying, no, you're my dolly. And hey, I just described 80% of the people right now, huh? Didn't I? Yep. And guess what? That's what 80% of the population is. Cuckoo, bong, cuckoo, bong, cuckoo. Whole thing needs to change. And it's going to slowly be changed. Which way? Dehumanized by the binary processors who are doing the money game? Who, that's their only creation, is to fucking piggyback right on the possibility of there being a human being who everybody's searching that, you know, like, oh, I want to get my own creative I want to get more connection to and it's just your process you're going through. You're going to awaken more, and hopefully, yes, you become a human being that's enlightened. You become love. You become mobbed upon. You get the hell out of here. No fucking human beings are here boating and having fun. This is a fucking place where it needs to be converted. There's something called convert. Did you get converted? You know, the religious conversion. What is that? Did you become human yet? Did you meet a human being who knows how to bring you up? She does that through her sex. She just wakes you up. Wakes up your nerve endings. Wakes you up to the fact that she's the same. See, I blame women. Now this is heavy duty conversation. See, I blame women on. See, mothers. See, this is well known, and man, I don't want to. I don't like the subject matter because, like I said in the beginning, there's the human being. Both men and women can achieve becoming enlightened, and that is becoming human. But you can get fucked up. See, a woman that doesn't let go of her son very accurately and well. She's doing emotional incest now, maybe because she had a narcissist for her sperm donor. He left, incapable of anything, and then so she's there like the emotional codependency she needs. So she starts lashing onto the boy. That happens a lot. But so then there's also the scenario of okay, so no, but and see that these guys they kind of turn gay. All they're doing is trying to sexually satisfy themselves. But they have this issue with their mom and women, and so. But it's just a mechanism that all they want to do is sexually satisfy. So they go somewhere else to do that, which is on the man's side, or get a hot jar of peanut butter. Really, really, that's really all that you want. Is just to get off. So anyway, people don't get that. They're all hooked up in their emotions. It's like, my God, really. I don't think women are apt to do that. They're just like getting into their zone and they're going to masturbate and that's it. But anyway, let's get back to now. See, it's also known that boys, men, if they come from a large family, if they have big sisters, that could ruin them into fucking hatred. And they could be all kinds of different scenarios with this. A lot of them are gay because they were ruined by these bigger girls who they are going through puberty. They go through and they get so emotionally. And this little boy is probably like teasing them and getting off on that or something. And pretty soon that could becomes a lifestyle. Does that become a lifestyle? It's just to keep women all agitated and irritated and plug into it. And really, it's like the sex goes to that place too. And then these women that turn into fucking resentful, angry, fucking looking things that babes, I am seeing I'm seeing repressed women, the most sovereign and the most empowered ones, they're repressed. They're trying to let it out, but for some reason they can't open up. Then there is the totally. I was curious and I asked this woman. Finally, it's an attractive couple, but really I could see it's like, oh my God, you could just see it. It's like I bet you anything. How these people are not even having sex well with each other. How do they treat each other in bed if they're treating each other like that and out in the open? None. And you can't fool me. But some women, how they talk, they will talk. And so this one was trying to, it's like off the fly, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's great. No, it's not. See, so they're trying to talk to me about it, right? And I'm curious. So okay, you want to talk? And I'm 10 years older, and I'm not pushing the subject matter for the whole time, but I've known them for a long time. So anyway, this is very personal. But anyway, this is where I find out. And I'm saying they're trying to tell me about. Oh yeah, me and him. And I'm like, oh really? So you have an orgasm? Huh? Are you having an orgasm? She's like, I think so. No. The answer is no. Some women, it's true, that they've never had an orgasm in their life. And the truth about that, babes, oh my God, and I don't like the subject matter. But this is the same for both men and women. They can become human beings. Orgasm. You can have an orgasm any fucking time. Find out put your hand down there, 5 years old, 7 years old, 10. When did you figure it out yourself? Did you ever figure it out yourself? No. It's just a mechanical thing. And so, but see, that would be something you would need to get to know because you're playing. And you make sure that these people can play, and not only that, but play fairly. And if they can't, don't breed with them. You are creating more and more of a problem globally everywhere. It's just resources are being burnt to, first of all, put together a whole fake life, which it's like now at the root, if you're not getting along right there and you're not waking up and you don't know how to treat each other and do an even give and take and create space and joy coming out of it, nothing else is going to work, you babes. You guys, see, that's how everything else is able to fucking start overlaying. It's because you guys are missing it. And you're feeling like toddlers when you guys are arguing about it. You just can't seem to get over it. You need an adult there to say, no, work through it. Work through it. somebody is trying to teach you something, why is there always an argument? Somebody's always trying to win? Rather, somebody's feeling something and saying, no, open up a little bit. The one that's always trying to win is the one that puts up an argument. And it's hard to tell who's who because of the reactive abuse. It has to start somewhere. We don't just take shit. We're going to say something, excuse me, and no! No! And then we get reactive abuse because of that. And you run away. Let me tell you something. Happy Mother's Day. You ain't celebrating no Mommy's Day without getting into your fucking feeling. Cancer. The feelings. The moon. Feelings. Deeper feelings than being mixed up about who's who. Like, with the binary processor, you're not gathering in your own information. It's just a suggestion in there, everybody else's suggestion. And now you're just off and on according to my tradition. Was that right or wrong? And it's like, God, this is hard to fucking sort this out, but we're looking for a feeling, Hans. A feeling. Now, the whole purpose of life is to feel good. Hate to stump you there.